Hello, welcome to the Free Woman Podcast.
You've arrived.
Yeah, thanks for hitting play, checking us out. We have some really fun things to talk about today and share.
Yeah, and we hope that you've had a good week as well. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of chaos in the world right now. So, wherever you're at, Free Woman, we are here.
We have arrived.
We are here with you.
Yeah, it has. It's been kind of crazy this last week. Even every morning, I'm just like, what am I going to wake up to today? What kind of news?
I've heard a lot of people say that. It just feels like you're on a roller coaster, which is kind of how abusive relationships feel. Yeah,
it's exactly how it feels. And just that trepidation of what's next. And
we're going to wake up to today. Mm-hmm. What is Dad going to come home like tonight?
Yeah, I know. That was my childhood. I knew what he was like or what mood he was in just by the sound of his footsteps approaching the door and then opening it, and just how the way he opened and closed it. So I kind of braced myself, and sometimes I went and ran and hid. And
yeah, that's a sign of PTSD. When you're that sensitive.
Well, now I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny because we're both divorced, have been divorced a long time, but when you co-parent, you're never really free of the person.
No.
I mean, not if they're toxic. Healthy people, they have their squabbles, they have their grieving period, and then they move on.
Yeah.
And make attempts to move on. Unhealthy people do not.
No, it's pretty unfortunate. You're just still in that cycle with them, even though like we both have tried to not be in the toxic cycle with them, but they pull you in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you want to move on. They will find ways to sabotage that. That's why stalking is such a common thing with mentally ill, toxic individuals. But there's many methods they use. And if you share children, it's just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so grateful for texting now. I'm so grateful that we have some of our technologies, because I feel like I can have more privacy, and then my ex can only just text me. But he's never like stalked me that I know of, like in the vehicle, but he used to stalk.
Not that you know of.
He used to stalk one of my ex-boyfriends though.
Oh, that's creepy.
My first one after the divorce. And at first I was like, I don't know if he's making this up, but then he described the car and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, that's him.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so
narcissistic people and, people on that spectrum don't really know how to go through the grieving process. They're stunted. They don't know how to process really heavy emotions. The way they process heavy emotions is by lashing out at other people, by unloading that on the people.
Well, they usually find a partner right away because they can't be alone, and then they need somebody that they can take care of them and their emotions, and then they just
they usually hook them with their victim story. They make you the bad guy. They pull in a new form of supply.
Yeah.
And even having that new person, though, they still don't let go of you. It's crazy.
I know, it is. It's really annoying. God, it's like been 7 years for me since my divorce, and I'm still, because you can feel them. If you are a normal human being with intuition and sensory, you can like sense them. Like I can still sense my ex, especially when the kids come back to my house after they've been to his place, and I can feel there's like some manipulation that's been going on, or if one of the kids is trying to get some information from me, and it's like I just have to be very careful, and I have my guard up quite often because I try to keep my life as private as possible from my ex. That's one of the ways I'm just trying to protect myself.
It's so wonderful divorcing the narcissist because you can finally have boundaries like that. You can control how you allow the communication to occur. Yeah. You can control interactions. You have the ability to create that distance so you can process before you respond. But if you share kids with them, the kids are still going back and forth. It's very, very uncommon that the courts will just let you have your kids 100% across the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if the kids are going over there, I mean, that is just the prime opportunity for the narcissistic individual to then continue to hurt you.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they work on the kids.
Yeah.
You know, they start training them or putting little thoughts and ideas in their heads, and
Or they also, you know, whatever their brand or flavor of abuse is, they can neglect. They can psychologically abuse. They can, you know, they have the new partner right away. They make the kids call her mommy, try to act like everything's like you never existed and everything's just great.
Yeah, that happened with my kids, and it was really, really difficult on them. My daughter didn't show it as much, but my son, he shows his emotions a lot more. And so I was pretty worried. He's coming over to my place and attacking me and hitting me. And there was like a lot of anger. And then he even talked about hurting himself. And then I knew right away, I was like, we need therapy. He needs someone to talk to, because everything that has happened is too much, too fast. And I seem to be the only one that's actually aware of what is going on, that the environment is too much for the kids. So
yeah, just because, you know, your son was the obvious one doesn't mean your daughter wasn't experiencing it just as intensely.
Oh yeah, well, I know, but she has very strong walls and fortresses around her heart.
It's actually the kids that are quiet about it that scare me more.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was worried about her as well, but you know, it's taken her some time, and she has finally gotten brave and has decided that she wants to live with me full time, and she's of age that she can choose and decide. And I've been trying to give her love and support these last 7 years, and make her feel safe, and that she can talk to me about how she's feeling. And she's just decided that this is where she wants to be, and I can just see her blossoming and growing. And I feel like we've had leaps and bounds since that little girl when we got divorced, and
yeah,
that closed everything off and put barriers up around her heart. And
well, there's this whole movement now to co-parent, to be amicable co-parents. And narcissistic individuals just love this. I
was going to say that. I was like, wow, they love it.
They love it.
Oh man, my ex, wow. At the beginning of divorce, he wanted me to become best friends with his new partner.
You just need to be so amicable. They love to use the words.
They do. And then he's like, I'm just trying to create a healthy co-parenting experience for our kids. And I'm like, this is not what I want. I don't want to co-parent with you at all. Like,
well, you did want to co-parent. That's not what he wanted.
Exactly.
He didn't want to co-parent.
I didn't want his version of co-parenting.
His version of co-parenting was, we're still married. You still are subservient to me. You still do whatever I want you to do, and I get to emotionally abuse you.
That's really what he wanted, but I didn't like it. I was like, I don't agree with this.
The divorce is just writing on paper. We're co-parents now.
You're going to still be my servant. That's what's been so weird. It's like,
snap, step 2.
Yeah, I have just felt this whole time that he just still wants this attachment with me, where I am still just the servant, taking care of everything for the kids. And sometimes he steps in and he says, you know, I kind of noticed something with our children. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I've already seen this, taken care of it, and have taken steps.
Hit him in the face with a brick before he notices something.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the other thing with toxic, narcissistic parents. They see the kids and pretty much everyone in their family as side characters to their grand story.
I know.
And so they are the main hero in the play, and you are all just supposed to be revolving around them, helping them fulfill their destiny.
Well, and how dare you step in and try to change the narrative of their story?
It's not yours to do.
I know.
It's not your story. It's
yeah, but you come in there and it's like you're cutting out pieces, and they get mad because they're like, no, I'm trying to create this story.
Well, it's why they don't like you to have needs. Mm-hmm. It's why they don't like it when you speak up and express honest emotions. They are the center of the universe, and everything is supposed to be revolving around them.
Well, I did not agree or like that. So
yeah, their children are just extensions of them. They are son number one and daughter number one, and they are just supposed to be playing the roles that the narcissist needs them to play.
yeah, and you're going to enjoy the activities they enjoy, and that's going to be our family time. And if you complain and say you don't like doing this, then you're just disrupting family time.
Or my ex, Survivor Man, he used to always like to say to the kids that they need to respect him. They need to respect their father. And my kids would get so frustrated because they would just be like, but he hasn't done anything to earn our respect. There's nothing about him that deserves respect. He yells at us. He belittles us. He forgets to feed us. He forgets to pick us up from school. But you better respect him when he walks through that door, because he's your father.
Well, respect is earned, just like your kids intuitively picked up on.
And that's what I would tell them and be like, well, I don't agree with that. I believe respect is earned. And that was something I found essential in, quote, co-parenting with a narcissist, is grounding my kids in reality. Realizing this does not mean that I am being an abusive parent when I point out that their dad is doing something toxic. It is me helping my children's mental health.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's been very important for me since the divorce, is focusing on the kids' mental health.
Yes.
Mainly because I did not get that at all as a kid. And my parents got divorced when I was 15, and my dad, definitely malignant narcissist. My mother, not great either. She's covert narcissist. And you live your life, and then one day you just have a complete downfall, and you're trying to figure out what the hell happened. And
well, unpacking
all
of that, even like starting to scratch the surface and scrape off the disgustingness of everything that happened in your early childhood, is really been enlightening when it comes to trauma and why we have the mental illnesses that we have in our society.
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, of course. If this is how your parents are, of course.
Of course you're gonna grow up and have problems, and then as an adult, it doesn't just go away because you're an adult. It doesn't just go away when you become a parent one day. Actually, it becomes worse when you become a parent. And if you do not stop and pay attention to what's going on with not just your brain, but your body and your feelings and emotions, it will take over, and you will put it on someone else, because that's what you do. It's you can't carry all of this,
or you have mental illnesses that cause the mind to become handicapped.
Yes,
in a way, not be able to function in its healthy state.
Yeah, well, and I've experienced that just when I have triggers come up, especially when it is facing people that really harmed me, like my ex-husband, Mr. Rooster. As it is, it's almost like my body freezes. Well, my body does freeze, and my brain, I can't even think or speak clearly. And I've seen it even in my daughter when she's trying to communicate with her father what her needs and feelings are. And I was just listening to her, and it was making me feel triggered as well, because I'm I know exactly what he's doing to her. That's exactly what he did to me for years and years. And you can't even get a word in at all when you try to communicate.
Well, that's one of the most painful parts about co-parenting, quote, co-parenting with a narcissist, is you then watch your kids experience the abuse that you experienced. You know exactly what they're feeling, what they're going through, what their struggles are, because it's what you lived through too. and you're powerless to protect them from it.
Yeah, so worst
Because
feeling.
the courts don't really care
They don't.
about that. They just, in my experience with family court, is they see divorced couples, custody battles, they just see it as adults being difficult. Stop being difficult, just go get along.
Yeah.
They don't have this full understanding of, what's happening behind scenes and why it's showing up in the courtroom this way.
Yeah, I've always felt like the courtroom is just the toxic mom or dad. And we're still children, and we're just trying to like tattletale on each other.
Yeah.
And hoping somebody will actually do something about, the victim that's actually getting hurt.
Yeah.
But they're just ignoring it.
Not even the victim as in me, but the victim as in these minors,
like these children
whose brains are forming,
Yeah.
who are very vulnerable to psychological abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see it time and time again on social media, just parents who are recently or new to this custody situation and suddenly realizing,
and how shocked they are too.
how horrific
And
it is.
you can hear it in their voice and body language that they're just trembling, and they're like, I just can't believe this is happening. I can't believe the courts are doing nothing.
Yeah.
And now my kids have to go over to this crazy person's house or this abusive man, and he's like already starting to work on them. And sometimes as a mother, sometimes you can save that child if you have luck on your side.
Yeah.
And sometimes
if there's luck, if things line up,
Yeah.
if you have resources,
the time, the finances to you put your energy and time into that child.
or if your ex is, really dumb, that helps sometimes.
Yeah.
They make mistakes or they get distracted and abandon the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. One of the things I've had to face, and I know you've faced this, and I'm like, I might lose one of my kids, and I don't mean like physically lose them, but just
You lose them to the trauma.
lose them to the trauma, and then they become what their father is. And it's just the most heartbreaking thing I've had to face, and I haven't given up yet. But I also have this part of me that's kind of on standby that is like, but this might happen. And I will still love my child, but I have to accept that this is maybe the journey they have to go on, and this is how they're going to learn and how they're going to grow. But, I may have to step back a little bit and not be a part of it, because I chose a long time ago to not be in cycles of abuse, no matter how much I love that person, whether it's family, friends, ex-partner, and even kids. And that's just one of the most heartbreaking things about being a parent and co-parenting with this really toxic human being.
Well, I always like to remind people that as awful as co-parenting with we need a new word, counter-parenting
Counter, I like that.
with a toxic person is, yes, they still are going over there for whatever percentage of time they're going over there. And being exposed to this toxic waste that is this other human being and their lifestyle. But you, because you left, are able to provide them with an alternative, with a different option. We can have a home over here where we don't talk to each other like that. We can have a home where we validate each other's experiences and emotions instead of gaslighting each other.
We can have a home where you can be a completely different individual, your own individual, and we honor and respect that.
Well, where your authenticity is celebrated rather than expecting you to play a part in my play.
Yeah.
And so it's awful, but at least the kids are being given a choice. And time again, if you continue to show up however it is you're able to show up, even if you only have 10, 20% custody, still showing up and showing up in that healthy way gives them a window to another reality.
It really does.
And then, yeah, they have a hard road to walk, for sure. And they're going to have trauma to work through. Yeah, but they have a choice. They will have a choice.
They can compare the two different places. Well, I used to feel this way at this unhealthy place, and I used to feel this way at this healthy place.
Yeah.
And then they can start choosing who they want to be, or what they want, how they want to treat others.
Yeah, and not to minimize at all the severity of the abuse that can and does happen over there at, narcissistic, psychopathic individuals' homes. But you can't write off kids. They can surprise us. They have resiliency in them too. You just got to keep showing up and keep presenting this opportunity of, right now, unfortunately, we have to do it this way. I know you don't maybe like what's happening at so-and-so's house, but
maybe here's some tools of
forever.
What you can,
yeah, it's not forever.
Well, I mean, that's why I've had my kids in different times in therapy, is so they can have someone to talk to about it, and then that therapist can maybe give them tools and what to do when they are in a situation, or if they're feeling a certain way at the other parent's house. And it has helped them tremendously.
Yeah, I know. And then once they get to an age, like your daughter, finally old enough that she can choose, they do have a choice. And time again, what I've seen is children gravitate towards the healthy parent. We'll say 2/3 of the time.
Yeah.
The majority of the time.
Well, and
they want to be in the environment that they can be authentic, that they feel seen, that they feel valued.
They feel safe and they can rest.
Even if they can't verbalize it, they're drawn to it.
Yeah, they are. Well, God, I mean, I am, now that I've figured it out. I prefer the place that just feels relaxing and quiet and
it's
peaceful, calm, and I'm not having to perform at all. I'm this is great. I love it.
Yeah, with narcissistic individuals, it's so performative all the time. It's all about them. It's all about their needs, their emotions, their meltdowns, their catastrophe, whatever it is, their celebration. It's all about them all the time, and you just get little breadcrumbs along the way. And you don't even realize how exhausting it is for you until you break that trauma bond. And breaking the trauma bond's pretty hard. It
is really hard. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
If you're just starting off with that, keep going.
I've been clean for 7 years now.
And I feel fabulous.
Narcissist free for 7 years.
Yeah.
Had a few try to come in, but we did not start using again.
Oh, no.
Thank the Lord.
No. We walked away as soon as we felt.
We really should create badges.
We
Narcissist free. Here's my 1 month pin. Here's my 1 year pin.
No, we should. That'd actually be really funny.
Oh no, I fell off the wagon.
I know.
Got on the dating app.
Help me. I need a quick meeting.
Yeah, and it's just really, really a struggle when you co-parent, because you can't just walk away. You have to develop those boundaries. You have to strengthen those muscles of gray rocking.
Yeah.
The terms used, where you communicate with them in very flat ways, very business appropriate ways. You don't give them anything to work with. You don't engage when they throw the little daggers.
It's interesting though, once you start figuring out what a narcissist is, or that type of abuse, that form of manipulation, especially through going through therapy, being around different people, dating other people, they are so much alike.
Well, the manipulation tactics are identical.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll kind of have different flavors to how they do it, but it's the same thing. I mean, they gotta redirect. They gotta make you the problem. They gotta make you apologize.
Yeah, and then they also have to make you feel very like foggy, like they really like to use a lot of words, spin things around. I mean, that's my daughter used those words. Like she used a lot of these words that I was like, oh my God, right? You already like know this? You like recognize it? I mean, it took me like after my divorce to understand narcissism because I grew up in it. I didn't even know. I just knew my dad was awful.
Yeah, they talk really fast a lot of the time.
They do.
Or talk over you.
That's why texting is like, don't ever meet with a narcissist in person or over the phone. Just text.
Yeah, if you can help it, keep everything in writing.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that helped me too, because after I divorced Rooster, or not Rooster, that's yours.
That's
after
mine.
I divorced Survivor Man. They're so similar in so many ways.
They are.
After I divorced Survivor Man, I was able to communicate with him through text only. And eventually we transitioned to a parenting app, which was even better because then I could choose when I went and looked at it instead of just having my phone pinging all the time and getting pulled into the back and forth. And that was great because I could see how he lied and I could see it all in writing. I didn't have to just rely on my memory.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they make things really confusing, really foggy.
Very muffled. It's
I'm
really
like, well,
confusing.
let's scroll up here in the message thread.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you said. Let me screenshot this and send it to you. It's wonderful.
It's so nice.
And I have used this skill with other narcissistic individuals I have met since my divorce. And every time it works. It
just works.
Great.
It's great. And then you can just reply with a few words. And then see how they react to that reply.
Or choose not to reply
Or
because
choose not, yeah.
because they're just sending little barbs to try to get you in a emotional back and forth.
Yeah, they want to pull you in, especially like ex-husbands, ex-partners. It's still intimacy for them, so they want that interaction.
Oh, they
with
don't
you.
care if you love them or hate them as long as you're thinking about them.
Yep, they love it. It's really gross. So yeah, texting, highly recommend it. Do not communicate in person or over the phone. You do not have to do that.
If you are finding yourself dealing with an individual where you feel confused all the time, you feel like you're remembering things wrong.
You feel crazy.
Yeah, or you just feel crazy. I recommend moving conversations with them to text format.
Oh yeah. And you can break up with them that way too.
Well, even if you're not dating them, if it's just a friend or a coworker or anything, just like keep it in writing. Keep it in email or text communication so you have a paper trail that shows everything.
Yeah.
You can reference.
Yeah, it has been kind of fun when I have noticed my Mr. Rooster, my ex, is trying to get on my good side because the way he writes is a lot more professional and he's trying to be kind. And I'm like, oh, you really want something from me. So you can really tell, you can feel it just when you're reading it, the way they're trying to manipulate you. It's it's cool to see like how much it's like an education.
It is. You're getting your bachelor's degree in manipulation.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, well, actually, that was kind of sneaky, but I still know.
Well, this is such a powerful tool. It's something that really does help you become a free woman or a free human. Is being able to spot manipulation and how it's used, because it is used in our society. I mean, everything from how stores market and advertisements, to television shows, to politics, and being able to spot when people are being manipulated, because guess what? It's the same at every level.
It is.
It sets you free.
Well,
It sets you free.
Yeah, I feel like the world is just all out to gain something from the person next to them.
Yeah, we've lost that sense of community. What's good for you is good for me, and now it's what's bad for you is good for me.
Yeah, whatever I can take from you, let me profit off of it.
Yeah, and so learning this really painful painful lessons with the co-parenting and divorcing narcissistic individuals or just breaking up with them. And having to like go through that process of how do I communicate with this person that's very dangerous, that's very unhealthy, that's clearly out to like take advantage, hurt,
just very controlling too.
Yeah, and learning to navigate that, it's like a superpower. It's the worst way in the world to learn it, but it also makes you pretty badass.
It does. It's pretty ingrained in me now.
That's what I mean. Like, it sucked, right? It's like the worst.
Body, heart, and soul. Like, I get it now.
But you know what? Having to do this for my kids, that motivated me to figure it out.
Oh,
I couldn't just run away. I couldn't just run away and pretend this relationship had never happened and move on with my life. I had to sit with it. I had to go through it again and again with my kids coming home and talking about things.
I know.
And I had to learn. And we did. We learned. Oh, boy.
And you saved your kids.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
Well, they're a lot better off.
They are.
Than they would have been if you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Every step along the way, I was just like, man, is this gonna be it for my kids? Is this it for my kids? And then time and time again, it ended up working out in their favor.
Yeah.
It was just really scary.
Well, they have love here. They have support. They have security. They have a home. They have food, education, and you're teaching them about abuse. I mean,
I only have 2 of my 3 kids here. The other one lives full time.
Yeah, but still.
Not with their father, but kind of with their father.
Yeah, but you're teaching them. Even your son that's not living here, you're teaching them. Like, that is so much more than I got when I went through with my parents.
But it's just not clear. It's not clear when you're in it how it's going to turn out.
Right.
And so you just have to keep stepping forward. And even if it looks like an absolute shit show, because it is, you just have to trust that as you like choose to do the healthy thing, as you choose to stand up for yourself, as you choose to stand up for your kids, that hopefully it works out. I mean, what I told myself, because I didn't know, it really didn't seem like it was going to work out, and I didn't know if it would, is that I'm doing this so I can sleep at night. I'm going to court once again to be humiliated and mistreated, but I'm going because my kids asked me to. So someone's got to show up. Someone's got to try.
Yeah, and you did. But now
that's what I did.
Yeah, and now your kids, even as they go into adulthood, they know they can count on you.
But none of the things I did actually made a difference. It was like time and time again, he would just win. He would win in court. He got more custody time. He got the things he asked for. And my very reasonable, simple request got dismissed again and again and again. And it really did just end up being about the kids getting old enough to choose. And that's what it was. And that's what I hear from most people who are in custody battles with malignant narcissists, is it's not until the kids are old enough to finally choose that they get their kids. But like I said earlier, if you show up consistently and you continue to show up in a healthy way, for whatever amount of time you're allowed to show up, whatever percentage the court deigns to give you, the kids, when they're old enough, they do choose that.
They do. And hopefully they're not too far gone by that time.
Well, you just don't have control over it. It's really, really painful. This is, I think, one of the darkest, ugliest truths about the United States is what we do to children who are being abused and their mothers or fathers that are fighting to protect them.
Yeah.
The way that we take children away from the healthy parent and put them in the abusive home, and even the pedophilic home. I know. And the healthy parent is often just completely broken by this. I've seen it many times.
Yeah, and you're fighting for your kids, but you're still having to like work and just keep everything up and going. And it breaks you. You get to a point where it's like, I don't know if I can even keep fighting anymore.
Because financial abuse is pretty much always part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you end up having to, work multiple jobs or work odd hours.
Oh, and they just love it. Like my ex loves that I lost everything and that I'm living in my friend's basement. He sees it as that I am not a good parent.
It's because he literally equates money with everything good in life.
Yeah.
And if you don't have money, then you must be bad. You must be less than.
Yes.
You must be making poor choices.
But the reason I'm in this situation is because I got screwed at the divorce and I didn't get alimony.
It's because of abuse.
And child support. It's because of financial abuse. And that's one of the things I am trying to educate my son on, because he's starting to fall into that trap of like money is just the goal, the end goal. And I'm like, it's not going to make you happy, but I understand that you might just have to figure this one out.
Yeah. Yeah. My Mr. Survivor Man, he is different than your ex, but it is interesting to see the similarities and how much the financial abuse does occur in both situations. But I think that you are also very interesting because not only have you gone through this in adulthood and watched me go through it, but you were a child in a very contentious divorce. Your parents divorced, and covert narcissist versus malignant narcissist.
Oh yeah,
makes for quite the fanfare.
Well, do you want to hear some stories?
Yes. Let's laugh.
Oh man, well, I was shocked that my mom finally had decided she wanted to divorce my dad. She asked me what I thought if she would divorce my dad, and I was like, yes, please. And
how soon can this happen?
How soon can it happen? And then some time had gone by, and I was like, oh, my mom hasn't done anything about this. And now I can say my mom is a coward, but at the time I just thought she was like afraid and weak, which she probably was. I mean, there were 6 kids and she didn't work, but it
would be a lot of work to get a divorce.
Yeah. Well, and it was like the 90s. So, women were starting to have more rights, but it's where we live.
Plus in Idaho, where we live, it's not great for women, especially in the 90s.
And we were still Mormon, so there's a lot of shame that would happen with your community and church if you do get divorced. It was still not as normal.
Yeah, the Mormon divorce rate's pretty low.
Yeah.
It's very, very frowned upon.
Yeah.
It is like you lose a lot of your privileges within the church if you get divorced, and you have to like repent and aren't allowed to go to heaven until you go through this repentance process around it.
Well, I ended up going to my bishop and pretend cried that my parents want to get a divorce. Maybe this was a little bit of manipulation from me at a young age, but I just knew my mom wouldn't do it unless I pushed it, and I really wanted her to. So I told him, I'm like, I think my parents want to get a divorce, and I cried. And this is where I think it's really messed up, but the bishop reached out to my dad and let him know, and my dad had no idea and was shocked, and then they approached my mom about it, and then my mom was like, yeah, I do want to divorce him. So they had to do classes with the bishop.
Wow.
None of his business, right?
Oh my gosh.
So the bishop tried to convince my mom to stay with my dad, and after a few classes, she's like, no, I still feel the same way. I really don't want to be with him. And I just remember my dad coming to the house and putting a suitcase together and being so mad. And he gathered a few of us kids together and was like, I'm going to go for now. But, I love you. And this is just temporary. And in my head, I was like, I'm so glad you're leaving.
I don't think any of the kids were sad that he was leaving.
No, we were so relieved. But he didn't pay child support. He didn't give my mom money at the time. Court was pretty stressful. I do remember my mom being pretty stressed out. But she also used us against our dad too, which was not hard to do because we already hated him. So she manipulated things and continuously try to portray him as even a bigger bad guy. I remember because we didn't have money, she took one of our favorite horses and sold it to dog food. And then basically was like, yeah, this is your father's fault.
Yeah, and then just brought it up all the time.
Yeah.
About how your horse had to go be turned into dog food. Just brought it up all the time.
Yeah, so there was a lot of manipulation there with my mother too. But yeah, it wasn't pretty. My dad kept taking my mom back to court for several years for any little petty thing. And then our first winter...
And he kept winning too.
He kept winning, yep. And that first winter, we didn't have a lot of food. My mom went back to work. We just kept the heaters off in the house to try to keep the power bill low. And so we wore coats in the house. And but then after I had moved away, my dad again, so this is like 3 years of them going to court together, he again filed for something. And this time my mom had a new judge because the other one had passed away. And this time the judge actually sided with my mom and made my dad pay more child support. And my sister at the time was living with my grandparents, and the judge made my dad pay my grandparents money for taking care of my sister. And so that was the last time my dad took my mom back to court.
He was done after that.
But living through that and just experiencing that stress and that overwhelm and just hating my dad so much because it felt like an attack on the kids too. And he didn't even like fight for us. He didn't even want the girls. He just was fighting for my younger brothers. And I just felt like I was nothing. So it really traumatized me, which is why my divorce ended up the way it did, which was I let my ex handle everything and not hire an attorney.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake, but
trauma, how it shapes us, right?
Yeah.
How it guides our decisions because we're just so paralyzed by things that have happened in the past, so terrified that we'll be back in that place again.
Yeah, but I mean, the divorce definitely made everything fall apart in our house. And then my older brother, who was just very deeply abused by my dad, took over the home, my oldest brother, and it was just chaos. There was not peace for a long time. So it was ugly, but I could tell my dad didn't care if he was going to hurt the kids because all he wanted to do was seek vengeance on my mother because she was walking away. She wanted a divorce from him. So, and then my dad worked.
Your mom wasn't prioritizing the kids either.
Oh, no, she wasn't. Well, that's like a whole nother.
So that's like the problem is it's not like they got divorced and you were poor, but at least there was peace.
Yeah, there was not.
Your mom was a mess too.
She was
and
a mess.
The kids were all older and traumatized.
Yep.
And it was just chaos.
It was chaos. Yeah, my mom was acting like a teenager again. She was just like she was a free teenager and bringing over a bunch of disgusting men that she was sleeping with, and it was just gross.
Yeah, it's not like your parents' divorce is not an example of one person who's trying to be healthy and create safety,
Yeah.
and heal, and then one person who is toxic. It's just two toxic people getting divorced and how it affects the kids.
And then just battling each other, but just not thinking about the kids.
Well,
at all.
yeah, it's like when you break up in middle school and how everybody just has to try to turn everyone against the other person.
It was exactly like that. It was like being in...
And who can get with someone again fastest.
Yeah. It was like being in a soap opera. Oh, yeah, totally. My dad had a woman right away. Her name was Candy, by the way. It didn't last long though, because then my dad was trying to take over all her accounts, and so she divorced him like I think 2 years later.
Yeah, it's so interesting seeing people go through a divorce, because even the elderly, you'll see two elderly individuals in their 70s get divorced. And if they haven't developed themselves,
like
if they haven't emotionally matured since they were in middle school, it will be like a middle school breakup.
Yep. And then they go to the judge, who is like the parent, and you have these little tantrums and these fights. And
it's why judges and the family court system can't take it seriously when you actually do have abuse going on.
And you actually...
Because they hear it just all day long.
Yeah. So it is. They can't help people who actually are seeking true help, and they're like the healthy parent.
Well, and I think they get this kind of superior attitude too, because they're just seeing adult temper tantrums all day long, and they have all the power, and they just don't have a lot of empathy for you when you come in, and you're just like, no, he actually is abusing the kids.
I know. Yeah, he really is actually just doing it.
They're almost, my lawyer almost was like hesitant to even bring up very much, because didn't want us to seem like one of those people who just is screaming that their ex is a narcissist all the time.
I know.
It's just, okay, let's just bring up really concrete concerns, like your son is suicidal. Like, hopefully the court will care about that.
God, I hope so.
You would hope, but people lie about stuff. It's just
They
so
lie
hard
all the time. Well,
and then the courts are just not effective.
Mm-hmm.
They're not effective.
They're not. It's a mess. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping the kids. So the vicious cycle just keeps happening and happening over and over.
Yeah, I could just like rant about court all day long, because a good chunk of my trauma happened there. But let's talk more about co-parenting.
Counter-parenting.
Surviving parenting.
Surviving it,
with a narcissistic individual.
Yeah.
What do you think has helped you the most?
Your friendship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, finding other survivors.
I think having other women who have or are going through the same thing.
Like the Free Woman podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, no kidding. Please. Therapy has really helped me. Someone who is, doesn't know me, doesn't know my ex, and I'm developing this relationship with this person that's going to be able to kind of confirm the abuse and help me to not feel crazy.
Help ground you in reality.
Ground me into reality. That has helped a lot.
Help you find tools that can, help your mental health or self-awareness.
And more than anything, just the way to communicate with a person that is narcissistic or narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah, a gray rock is promoted a lot. But what I found worked best for me, and I've heard some people call this yellow rock. It's a little more friendly than gray rock. It's kind of like business friendly.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you feel that way. I would like to propose that we do X, Y, and Z. Thank you.
Yeah, I've done that too.
It's just very simple, but it adds a little bit of niceness to it, because you don't want to seem like a bitch if this stuff gets dragged out in court and they read these really dead sounding messages from you.
That person has no life in them.
She's not a co-parent.
Yeah. God, I know.
But I also found it very important to just not engage with the bait. They love to bait you.
They do.
And so, or sometimes I would even have my now husband read the message for me, because I was just feeling so triggered. And I'm like, I don't feel like I can even read this right now.
Well,
and so he would read it for me, and he'd be like, okay, the only thing in here you need to respond to is he wants the kid's therapist appointment info or something. And so I would just send back a short message. The kid's therapist appointment info is blah, blah, blah. And that
really helps. Yeah. It's nice that you have that you have someone that can read it for you. Because even just seeing their name pop up, like for me, it already just causes me to have some body tremor.
I go into fight or flight.
Because my body just knows, especially where I have worked so hard to finally see the abuse and the truth of it. So now whenever I even just see his name, it causes my body to kind of go into a shake, because now I understand the depth, the layers of abuse I allowed to happen, not only mentally, but physically, and then like my sexual relationship with him. So I'm like just disgusted. And so I'm like, I don't even want you near me, because you're dangerous to me. Like, that's how I see it. So it is really hard when you're communicating and you see their name. But I do have like a few techniques I do, so that way I can try to keep my brain clear. But which is great about texting and emailing, you can pause. But I usually try to do some breathing. I tell myself I'm safe, I'm not next to him. This is just through texting.
Yeah.
Sometimes tapping helps me too, to get me back into my body.
I did tapping a lot. I'm here. I'm in a safe place.
Yeah.
I'm in my home. Yes.
And then, sometimes I'll, you don't have to read it right away. Or if you do, sometimes I'll go for a walk first and then respond.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to respond when you're in that state.
I deliberately started waiting to respond because I could tell how much he wanted a back and forth. And it was hard for me to resist if I started to engage.
Yeah.
And so I would give myself a cooling off period. And you know what? In professional settings, like at jobs, at the workplace, 24 hours is a reasonable turnaround time. And so I gave myself a 24-hour response time.
Well, and
it's okay.
It is okay.
Take a day.
And doing that for myself now too has been so good for me, because even when I was married to Mr. Rooster, he would get so mad if I didn't answer the phone right away, if I didn't respond to his text right away. And I've had my cell phone turn the ringer off since my kids were born, because it's just babies. It's overstimulating to hear continuous notifications. And he would just get livid with me. And the fact that now I don't have to do it right away is this empowerment, being like, I am not married to you anymore. You will get a response from me when I'm ready. And it feels so good.
We also, I know that, it's a mixed bag, but getting it's not a mediator. What is it called? A parenting coordinator. A parenting coordinator really, really helped for me, because we kept having to go to court, which was just thousands and thousands of dollars, because Mr. Survivor Man liked to be difficult all the time. He liked to just flat out refuse things like therapy, doctor's appointments. He used his leverage as a co-parent to basically just put himself in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And
nothing could materialize.
I couldn't
for you
even
guys.
get the kids, in music lessons or whatever. He just kept undermining everything, or he'd play games and he'd decide he wanted to switch the place. And it just felt like I didn't get any say in parenting my children. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. That's not what co-parenting
healthy co-parenting is.
Well, it's not even what having shared legal custody means. It doesn't mean that one person just gets to bully the other person all the time.
Yeah.
And so
that's the whole point of a divorce, right? So you don't have to be around that anymore.
Well, exactly. But he was using it that way, which is common and with abusive individuals and co-parenting situations. And so we were in court a lot, and it was frustrating. It's just over things like where the kids were going to go to school, or getting the kids in therapy, or this or that. And so I requested a parenting coordinator. And so basically we had a individual assigned to us that if we could not agree on something, like the after school schedule, this or that, that we could then send it to the parenting coordinator, and we'd each send our request and why we felt the way we did, and then the parenting coordinator would decide. And the parenting coordinator, it took him, I was really, really heartbroken at first, because his first decision very much fell into my ex's manipulations, and I thought, here's just another way that we have been betrayed. But after a few rounds with the parenting coordinator, and he met the kids, he started to figure Survivor Man out. He started to see the patterns, and he was actually the one who ended up getting me my kids full time, because they were old enough to choose. They wanted that. And he told Survivor Man to stick it.
I'm so glad that happened.
And then we went to court and made it official after that. But it was the parenting coordinator that allowed that bridge to be crossed.
It's great. It's great that you have that, because it does take a little time to see
It does.
the narcissist games, because
And that's
they're
what's so nice, because the judge only sees you, every couple years or every 6 months if you're really busy in court.
Yeah.
And they only get whatever is presented to them in the few hours that you get to present your case. And so the parenting coordinator actually gets to know you. It gets to know the kids and gets to know the situation.
Well, and that's what's great is like they bring the kids in alone too and get to talk to the kids. And then if the kids have a therapist as well, they communicate with the therapist as well.
Yeah.
And it's like finally there's maybe a chance someone is seeing the truth.
Well, and just like there's bad lawyers, there's bad
Yeah.
parenting coordinators out there too. But I'm just presenting it as a resource because it's what worked for us. And so it's worth a shot. The other thing that really helped us was getting the school counselors involved, helping my kids develop that relationship with the school counselors. And my son, because the school was aware there was this situation, when my son Googled how to commit suicide at school, we then had a school counselor that was able to interact with him, that knew the context of what was going on, and was able to reach out to me and was able to reach out to the parenting coordinator.
I'm so glad that your son had the school coordinator there and someone finally listened, because nobody's listening to the mother.
Yeah, you need the courts. It's he said, she said all day long. You need to find unbiased parties. And if you have, a toxic co-parent, then they can interfere with therapy. They can interfere with these different methods. If you can find a good therapist that understands narcissism and manipulation, great. But a lot of them are just humans, and they're not educated in, they don't have their doctorate in narcissistic abuse like you do.
Yeah.
From having been married and divorced with one.
It's different when you've lived it.
And so therapy can also be hit or miss, but you just have to keep trying to get unbiased individuals involved with your kids, so that there's other people who can be witnesses to what's happening.
Yeah, because sometimes
advocates for your kids.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just too late. No, it's just even the kids like saying, when I went through this, even as a kid, I multiple times said, I don't want to be with my father. I hate him. And they didn't really take me serious. I had to do therapy with my dad, and we did it once. It was a terrible therapist.
Yeah, reconciliation therapy is likely gone out of style.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of abusers that push for it.
But over and over throughout my youth, through my adulthood, I had been undermined when I have said, I hate my childhood that I experienced with my father. He was so abusive. Finally, it shifted when I had therapy, and a therapist took me serious, and it allowed me to actually feel it for the first time too, and be like, yeah, I hated it. Like, it was awful. And now I feel like I can actually talk about it. But even now, I'm still being undermined by people that are related to my dad.
Family members.
Well, so I say they're related to my dad because I don't see them as family. But it's just so frustrating as a victim of really scary abuse, and as a child, how nobody did anything. Nobody listens to the kids.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to the healthy parent, the mother, who's trying to help them, save them, prevent them from this.
Came across this constantly. People didn't want to get involved.
No, they
it was
don't.
messy. It was a legal conflict. It was this or that. They didn't want to be involved. They just wanted to shake us off. And so it was really hard finding the resources for my kids, but I did. But there were a lot of, our first therapist was real piece of work. And first had a lawyer that really screwed us over too. It's just was thing after thing after thing after thing. And CPS failed us as well. We had a CPS case that was open, and that was just a whole enlightening experience. And so I guess that I would just say, you know, parents who are dealing with these co-parenting struggles, who are dealing with kids going through abuse, you just don't give up. You just have to keep trying, and you just have to keep looking for those resources and looking for advocates. The justice isn't going to come in the courtroom.
It's not.
It's going to come from finding other individuals who are willing to advocate for your kids.
Well, and the justice comes in for me too when I see my children breaking the cycle on their own as well.
Yeah.
And the justice is for me when I chose to fight and never give up on my kids. And
yeah, my let's see, my 2 kids have lived with me full time now for, is it 2 years this spring?
I think so.
Close to. There was a little touch and go there in the beginning, but yeah, they've been with me full time since then. And had therapy and are just doing so well. I know there's still a lot of trauma for them to unpack as they get older. I'm sure they'll access it in different ways, but thriving. My son has straight A's. He's applying to colleges this summer. He's got dreams. He's got hope.
Yeah.
And that was something he did not have for years and years and years. He really thought he was a worthless piece of shit because of all the abuse. And it's just been wonderful to see that blossom in him. And my daughter is finding creativity and expressing herself. And it's great to see her authenticity shining out. And when I compare with who they were when we were going back and forth with Survivor Man, it just is crazy to think about. It's night and day difference.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep trying, and the kids will eventually get old enough that you can get them out of there.
Yeah, it is worth it. It is the hardest thing I've ever done. I know it's probably the hardest thing you've ever done, but it's definitely worth it. And the payback is when you see your kids blossom like yours. I mean, I'm seeing it in my daughter as well, and just knowing they have a head start in life and they're getting something I never had. And they're understanding abuse too. They have the words and the verbiage as well.
Yeah, if you're going through this, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But keep showing up for your kids and know that they're learning too. My kids are all experts now in manipulation.
They are.
In gaslighting, in narcissism and abuse, and even in how the system is broken. Mm-hmm. And they know to not bother turning to those places for justice. They know that's not where they will find it.
Yeah.
Which is not something I knew until I went through it. So I really do feel like they have a leg up in life because of learning some of these really dark truths.
Hard lessons early in life.
But yeah, it's just really painful, but it's not without hope, even when it seems like just the absolute darkest of dark nights. Just know that there is a future, that there is an end to the abuse, that it does come. It just takes longer than you want it to.
It's a hard lesson in life. It is an education. And, you know, in order to get educated, you just have to go through all the different barriers and experience all the different levels of what a narcissist will do to punish you and seek vengeance.
I used to get so angry every time someone would tell me, it really is a long-term game. You're really playing a long-term game with these toxic personalities. Like my lawyer said it to me, therapist said it to me. I heard it in a few different places, and I just would get so angry. I'm like, whatever, it's going to be a long-term game. Whatever. It's like not what I wanted to hear.
No, it's not.
But it was true.
It's true. But you know what?
And we are free now.
We are free now. And if you listen to this whole podcast, you have some really great suggestions and pointers to hopefully make it maybe not as long as a game, or maybe you'll be at least a step ahead of the toxic person or the system. So that way you can have a little bit more peace in your life sooner than what we had.
But if not, know that it is coming, and that in the meantime, you have the free woman here with you every Wednesday.
Thank you for listening. Remember to like and subscribe.